Imagine someone stealing every game you owned back in the 90s, when gaming wasn't just a hobby, it was your entire world. Now imagine finding the perfect way to crush them, not with fists or shouting, but with one letter that turned their entire household upside down. Intro call to action. If you've ever been betrayed, if someone has ever taken advantage of your kindness, you know that hunger for justice. Stick with me, because today's story is hands down one of the most satisfying pieces of teenage revenge you'll ever hear. And hey, if you love a good revenge tale as much as I do, hit that like button, subscribe, and let's dive in. Full narrative expansion, bulk of script. The setup. Back in the 90s, gaming wasn't like it is today. No Steam. No instant downloads. If you wanted a new game, you either shelled out serious cash, begged someone to bring one back from abroad, or like me and my best friend, ordered them through international airmail. Each floppy disk or CD-ROM felt like treasure. We'd swap games like sacred artifacts, carefully copying the copy protection so we could afford to play more than just one title every 6 months. Doom 2. Monkey Island. The Settlers. These weren't just games, they were lifelines. So when a new kid joined our class and casually bragged that his uncle had boxes full of games we'd never even touched, it felt like hitting the jackpot. At first, we thought we'd struck gold. But then the nightmare began. The antagonist, the new friend. This kid, let's call him Mark, wasn't interested in fair trade. We handed him our prized originals, expecting clean, working copies in return. What did we get back? Corrupted floppies. Missing copy protections. Sometimes he didn't even return the discs in decent condition. Week after week, trade after trade, it became painfully clear. He was bleeding us dry. We lost everything while he built a collection off our backs. And the worst part? He laughed about it. Mocked me for caring so much about stupid games. And if that wasn't enough, he zeroed in on one of the things I cherished most. My love for Queen. I was a huge Freddie Mercury fan. His voice, his music, his energy, it was everything to me. But Mark. He'd sneer. He'd call Freddie a gay singer, like it was some kind of insult. He knew I admired him, and he twisted it into a weapon. By then, the betrayal wasn't just about games anymore. It was about respect. And I had none left for Mark. The breaking point. After months of getting scammed, I felt humiliated, powerless, like a fool. But inside, the humiliation was slowly hardening into something sharper. Revenge. The opportunity came out of nowhere. Our school attended an AIDS awareness event. This was the early 90s, right after Freddie Mercury's death, when AIDS campaigns were everywhere. At the end, they handed out informational flyers and free condoms with the foundation's logo stamped on them. Most kids laughed and tossed them. But me and my friend, we each grabbed a handful. And as soon as I saw Mark sitting there, smirking during the presentation, mocking everything about it, that's when it hit me. We finally had a way to make him pay. The plan, crafting the trap. Now remember, this was the 90s. Very few kids had computers with printers at home. But I did. And with that printer, me and my friend became gods of forgery. We carefully recreated the AIDS Foundation's logo and letterhead. We drafted a fake letter addressed directly to Mark. Every word was designed to cut right at the heart of his ultra-conservative household. It read something like, "Dear Mark, thank you for your letter. We understand it's difficult being open about being homosexual, and you have many questions after the event you attended. Please find enclosed a flyer which should answer many of your questions as well as some condoms. Please practice safe sex at all times." We tucked in all the flyers we'd collected, slipped in the condoms, sealed it in an envelope, addressed not just to Mark, but to Mr. Last Name, because we knew exactly who would open that letter first. His father. The execution. The morning we dropped it in the mailbox, my hands were shaking. What if we were caught? What if the foundation somehow found out? But mostly, what if it worked? And oh, did it work? Days later, Mark didn't show up to school. Rumors started swirling. By the end of the week, the whispers turned into a storm. His mother had been in tears. His father was furious. He'd been grounded, locked down, practically interrogated by his family. They were convinced he was secretly gay. Now, let me pause here. The point wasn't to mock being gay. That was never the revenge. The point was to strike Mark exactly where he had mocked me. Using his own homophobia, his family's conservatism, and his cruelty against him. And oh, it was devastating. The fallout. When Mark finally came back to school, the swagger was gone. No smirks. No bragging. Just a kid who looked like his world had been flipped upside down. But here's the kicker. At first, he actually believed the letter was real. He thought the foundation had actually outed him to his parents. He was humiliated. Broken. And of course, me and my friend couldn't resist fishing for details. So, did you get any mail recently? Watching his face turn red was the sweetest payoff I'd ever tasted. Eventually, he figured it out. Or maybe we pushed too hard with our questions. Either way, he confronted us. We admitted it. And that landed us in the principal's office, with his parents sitting right there. We had to explain, red-faced, stammering, why we forged a letter from a National Health Foundation and mailed it to one of our classmates. Looking back, it was reckless. Honestly, we should have been suspended. But deep down, even with the embarrassment, even with the lecture, even with the trouble, it was worth it. Climactic revenge payoff. Because in that moment, justice was served. Mark, the kid who stole our games, trashed our treasures, and mocked my hero, finally got hit where it hurt most. He tasted humiliation. He knew what it felt like to be powerless. And the best part, it wasn't through violence. It wasn't through shouting. It was with one perfectly crafted letter that turned his world upside down. Even now, 30 years later, I can confidently say, it was the best revenge of my life. Reflective wrap-up. Revenge is tricky. Most of the time, it backfires. But sometimes the universe hands you the perfect opportunity to even the scales. And that one letter, one small act of teenage mischief, still stands as proof that karma has a sense of humor. Outro call to action. So, what do you think? Did Mark get exactly what he deserved? If this story gave you chills, smash that like button and tell us in the comments. What's the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen or pulled off yourself? And of course, subscribe for more stories like this. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next.